Hello everyone! Tying ties is a great way to look your best in your best outfit. Whether that's going to a wedding, to a party, or just to look your best on the street, tying ties is a great way of doing that. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 ways that you can tie ties to look your best. Now I know tying ties can be difficult, but bear with me and we'll soon be tying great ties in no time. Alright, the first one we're going to tie today is going to be the Fourinhand knot. You want to start with your tie, but make sure that the big part of the tie is longer, almost by double of the little part of the tie right here. So what you're going to first do is take big tie and put it over little tie so that they cross. The next step you're going to do is you're going to take the big tie and you're going to wrap it under like this, almost like you're looping around little tie, because that's what you're basically doing. And you're going to push it over like that so that you've gone around it once. Now when you're at this stage, you're going to take big tie and you're going to put it underneath the collar part of your tie. So you take it, you go underneath. Now what you're left with is you have this little loop here that you just created by wrapping the tie around it and putting it underneath. So now all you have to do is take this part of the tie and put it into that loop. And your result is the Fourinhand knot. So the second tie we're going to tie is going to be the Pratt knot. Now this one is a little more complicated than the Fourinhand knot. Now, to begin with, you're going to take your tie and make sure that it is backwards as you put it on your neck. Also make sure that the big tie is much longer, almost by double of little tie. So what you're going to begin by doing is taking big tie and putting it underneath little tie. Now that's going underneath. Now, the second part is you're going to take big tie and you're going to go over the collar part and then you're going to loop it underneath the collar. So you make a loop around the collar. Next, what you're going to do, you're going to take that big tie and go over that loop you just made. That's over like this. And then you're going to go again underneath your collar so that you just did the same thing to the other side. And then you're going to take this and put it into the loop you just created. And this leaves you with the Pratt knot. The next tie we're going to tie is called the half Windsor knot. So what you're going to start with is taking big tie, making sure that it's again longer than little tie. Now this one's a bit more complicated. This has 9 steps instead of 8. Now, you start like this, and you take big tie, and you go over little tie. And then when you're over little tie, you're going to go underneath it. So you loop around little tie. Now take this tie and go over the collar and then wrap around it. Then you take this big tie and wrap it over. Now you're going to take that and you're going to go up through the collar and then you're going to push it through the loop you just created. And what you're left with is that half Windsor knot. Finally, we've come to the full Windsor knot. Now this one's a bit more complicated with 11 steps. Now, first, you're going to take your big tie, making sure that it's bigger than your little tie once more. Go over that tie. Now you're going to take that and make sure you push it up through your collar in the middle. And once you've done that, your tie should look like this. Now you're going to take that, wrap it diagonally underneath this one, up over the collar, and you're going to loop it underneath. Now you should see that you have 2 separate areas for the tie. That means you're doing it right. Now you're going to take this part, wrap it over what you just made. You see you're starting to form the triangle base. And then you're going to go through, up through your collar, and you're going to tuck it through that big little triangle pouch you just created. And this will leave you with the full Windsor tie. I hope you've learned a lot about tying ties, and I hope that you will be able to use what you've learned to look your best, look your sharpest, and remember, that was the Pratt, the Fourinhand, the Windsor, and the half Windsor knots. I hope what you learned today is going to be helpful to you to tie great ties.